Moving on to action items. Do I hear a motion to approve the second reading of policy JFABF, students in foster care?
Madam Chair, I move that the board approve the second reading of policy JFABF, students in foster care, as presented by the administration.
Thank you, Dr. Guyton. Do I hear a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. All right, Mr. Caldwell, will you walk us through this one?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. You'll recall last month I brought for first reading policy JFABF, which brings into policy our already standard operating procedures for working with students in foster care. And basically this model policy provides definitions, placement processes, transportation, record-keeping procedures. And as I said, it aligns with our current practices. It was pointed out, and rightly so, after the first reading that there was a process statement put where the definitions are. So you'll see that I struck through the red line to that addition and added it on the next page under placement process at the end of that first paragraph. In fact, I enhanced the language somewhat so there'd be no confusion, because that is one point that tends to trip people up. So that was the only correction that I noted and the only correction I made from first reading to second. And so we do present this to you at this time for approval.
Board, are there any questions?
I did have one, and we may have covered this last time. I just don't recall. On page 3, under transportation, the district foster care point of contacts from the 5 Lexington County school districts. That's in there, I assume, because with it being Lexington County, the child placed in foster care, they may kind of move between districts, and so
that
would
does
be the
happen
reason.
frequently, and we have an agreement with the other 4 districts to share costs. That's certainly not to say that we would only accept students of foster care from those other 4 districts. And we do have a mechanism in place to pay for if someone is, say, in Aiken County or in an adjacent, but that was written specifically because we have an agreement with those counties, or with those school districts.
With the other school district. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and the motion carries.